guys, it's Kathy. Today I'm bringing you a how-to tutorial, and that is on mending cracked and broken eyeshadows. Let's face it, we've all had that situation where we've either bought a shadow refill in a pan or else tried to depot one and we just weren't that little bit too careful and it broke, and you're like, great, now what do I do? So this tutorial is about how to fix them. I know there are plenty of others out in the world. This is just my take on how to do it, one that I found which works for me, and I am a very anti hands-on do-it-yourself. I can't fix things. Fixing things, I tend to break things, so the fact that this works for me shows that it's really easy. But basically all you're going to need is a dropper of some sort, alcohol. Now I'm using vodka, which I find to be the best. If you have pure rubbing alcohol or medicinal alcohol or antiseptic or whatever it is, that stuff will work perfectly, but vodka, I find, it's all I need. It works well. So circular or some sort of tissue or pads, iPad, etc. So a needle or something very thin and sharp, and of course your broken eyeshadow, and something about the same diameter as your eyeshadow to do the pressing. Other than that, we're all good to go. Please enjoy. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is your broken eyeshadow. I'm using Shadowy Lady from MAC. It came in a compact, which I then tried to depot, and Wishka, she broke, which is always very nice. Now this one, it probably isn't one that's considered to be too bad, but just for the sake of this exercise, I'm actually going to do a full reconstruction on it. So what you want to do is you want to get something very fine and sharp. A lot of people use a needle. I couldn't find one. So I'm actually using an old hair bobby pin, which I've now sprawled apart. I don't use it anymore, so it doesn't bother me. And I'm going to be using the very sharp end of it right here. So basically what we're just going to want to do is get in there around the edges and then bring it in and just start breaking it all up. So you just push in until it starts cracking, and you'll find it breaks apart really easily. Don't be too forceful, otherwise you'll lose a lot of it to whatever you're breaking it apart in, simply because it is such a fine pigmentation and fine powder. Now if you're asking, well, why are you breaking it up so much? Aren't you just making it worse? Well, since we're going to be doing a full reconstruction on this one, it means that we're going to need more alcohol than you would normally, and that means you need to be able to soak it all together, and all the pieces need to re-adhere to each other. One thing I should mention just while I'm doing this is that not all shadows require the same amount of alcohol. I found one I repaired a while ago didn't require much at all, and yet this one, because it's a drier and more flaky consistency, naturally actually requires quite a bit. So it really does take a bit of trial and error, but remember, it's always easier to add more than take some away, because then you have to wait for it to dry out and then start the process again. But as it stands, we've got a pretty good paste consistency. So what do I need? I need this. Next, take a very thin, flat surface. I'm actually using a nail file. I find this works really, really well. And basically, just gripping the pan, we basically want to press it in, the shadow in ever so slightly, and fill in the gaps, just so that when we do the proper pressing, it's basically filling up the pan the way we want it to. So smooth out the top and give it a finish that you're after. You'll never get it back the way it was in the pan, unless you've got a vibrating machine or something to get all the air bubbles out, but I find if you pat it around enough you'll get most of them out and you'll get a fairly good consistency. Okay, so now that you've done that, you've got your eyeshadow paste now back in the pan, sort of the finish you're after. So now what you want to do is you want to get a flat protective cover, I guess. Now I'm using just a flat cotton pad. Tissues work wonderfully. You can use pieces of muslin or just cloth if you want. Just bear in mind that the rougher and coarser the material, the rougher and coarser the finish you'll get on your pan. So just place this over the top of your eyeshadow and then get something which is the same or as close a diameter to the eyeshadow palette as, eyeshadow pan as possible. I find for 26mm eyeshadow pans, which is what MAC is, the best thing to use is a $1 coin. So yeah, these fit absolutely perfectly. Now just feel around to where your edges are in your pan, situate your dollar coin over it and then push for all you're worth. You basically want to use as much force as you can. You can even pick up the pan and press down like this and just give it a good old heave-ho. We're wanting to basically compress the eyeshadow as much as possible. Okay, once you've finished pressing, just gently remove the coin. You'll probably have a nice lovely little indent there from where the coin has been. You might even have lost a little bit of the colour off because of the alcohol. But then very, very gently just peel off your covering. You'll obviously have lost eyeshadow to the covering because of the pressing. But if all has gone according to plan, you will have a repressed eyeshadow. Like I said, your surface will not be as good as the original, and the pan will probably wind up a bit dirty. I know mine always do, but certainly better than a broken eyeshadow. So this can then just be popped back into your palette and you're ready to go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please ask. Bye!